Hello, darlings. Apologies, I'm all behind like a cow's tail tonight. Oh, late getting in. Bloody hell, only three of you tonight. Three? Gosh. Oh, that's quite cool. This is unusual. Well, welcome to Wednesday Night Live, darlings. Oh, that suddenly jumped up to 10. Gosh, I was thinking that's weird. It's a while since I've done this to just three people. I'm not sure I've ever done it to just three people. God, I can't remember the first one of these I did, and I can't look at it because I buggered it up in the post doings department and ended up deleting it by mistake. But I can't remember the second one either. So I've got no idea how many people were here or who they were. I mean, I suppose it's a long time ago now, isn't it? I wonder how many of these I've done. Oh, somebody told me how many I'd done the other day. And it was quite a lot. Jimmy Quinn, good evening. And welcome to, did I say welcome to Wednesday Night Live? Can't remember if I did or not. No, I haven't put the link up for tonight anywhere. I've not put it up in singles or anything like that. I'm not chasing those buggers anymore, those undynamic people. What I'm going to do, darlings, is I've checked the doings and I can do live streams on the other channel now. So I'm just going to start doing lives on the other channel, not instead of this, don't worry. No, I was thinking I used to do a post in singles called The Midnight Gang. Just for people who can't sleep or who are night owls or whatever, to keep each other company in the sort of midnight through till 1 o'clock period, or whenever really. I mean, it could go all night if they wanted it to. Oh, those were the days when you could go all night if you wanted to. Blimey. Black when my hair was back when my hair was black and my teeth were present and correct. Well, present anyway. What was I talking about? Yeah, sorry, I'm all in a rush and flustered, and I've completely lost my. Oh yeah, so I might do like a short midnight live stream. Bits of soup in my mouth. I might do a kind of midnight live stream, just a short one, half an hour on Friday and Saturday or something, and try and drag in some new people rather than trying to get the 10,000 bloody people in the group who basically haven't got the inclination or energy to wipe their own arse, let alone do anything else. Rather than trying to get them to come across to YouTube, I will simply push the live streams, get some other videos out on that video channel, and get some new people into the community to replace the suboptimal community members. God, I wish I had people like you in there. It'd be a joy then. It's like banging your head against a brick wall, honestly. Now then, good evening, let's right. Jimmy Quinn, good evening, Boaty and all. Good evening, Jimmy. Pingu Concord, good afternoon, Reverend Boaty. Dirty mind, clean body. Dirty pants, clean body. Evening, sports fans, say Simone. Nice way Boaty and all. Hi, Simone. That's Barry. Steve Colg is here. John Stoodley is here. Ashley Stewart, lovely. Trisha Alderman, that's a treat. Bad Books, good evening all. Suited and booted, so good. Man, Mark. James Wilson is with us. Captain Mustard is with us. Hello, sexy singles, he says. Carlos Fandango, Super Wide Wheels. There are more than 3 in your chat, so your stats are wrong, today. I mean, I imagine he was going for a say there. And also, good evening, both. Good evening to you, Carlos. I do hope you're well. Hello. Barry has reached 50 subs. That's quite a milestone. That is quite a milestone. Well done, Barry. Good for you. To the tune of Hot, Hot, Hot by Arrow. I don't know that. Is that feeling hot, hot, hot? No, Arrow doesn't ring a bell. But anyway, the lyrics are, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead, he's dead, Fred the Shed. Oh, poor Fred the Shed, says John. Remember the Not the Darndy Clock News sketch, asks Cheeseburger, and good evening, Cheeseburger. And that's a silly question, because you know perfectly well I remember every Not the 9 o'clock news sketch. Which one are we talking about? With the BBC continuity announcer scaring the crap out of viewers at close down. Cheeseburger. Oh, honey, I'll come to that in a sec, Neil. I've just had a glimpse. Cheeseburger, it's very rare that you make a mistake, but you have made a mistake. The bit that you're referring to, the BBC continuity announcer scaring the crap out of viewers at close down, that wasn't Not the 9 o'clock news. That was Billy Conley in an audience with Billy Conley. Unless Not the 9 o'clock news did one as well that I don't remember. And I don't remember them doing one. It was Billy Conley who did the scaring the crap out of. He was saying, if it was me, he said, first of all, they try and scare you by saying, and that's all from television tonight. I hope you've had a very, very good night. We've certainly enjoyed it. We enjoyed it the first time round. And yeah, it's been absolutely super. Now, before you go to bed, remember to turn the television off and unplug it from the mains because it could explode and the house could go on fire. And then he said, and then I'd wait, I'd count if it was me until they'd just be reaching out to get the plug, and I'd go, leave it alone. Do what you're told. Get back to your seat. I haven't finished yet. Johnny Cash was one cool dude, says, I walk the line, and why shouldn't you? You're entitled to walk that bloody line if you feel like it. John, how are you, mate? You're still feeling sick? Oh, no. Oh, of course, it was your friend's funeral, wasn't it? This morning. Oh, dear. Still feeling sick, but had a TIA early hours of the morning and nearly missed my friend's funeral. Oh, bless you, John. Bloody hell. We were all hoping those days were over. Joe is here, Cars with Jase, evening all, and Joe is very stressed at the moment, revising for his test to become a taxi driver down in Devon where he lives. Don't worry, Joe. You will soon be cruising around the streets of Torquay in your big yellow taxi. We've all got faith in you. With us behind you, you can't go wrong, young man. It's chaos tonight. You wouldn't believe the chaos in that section of the kitchen. I haven't even got any chilled wine. I've got wine in the freezer. That's why I only had a little tiddly bit of wine, so I'm desperately trying to get it to get it a little bit chilled. And it needs to be a little bit chilled or very chilled because, darlings, I'm back on the cheap crack. Oh yes. That I missed the 25% off 6 bottles or more offer thing finished yesterday, and I didn't have any money last night. Well, I did have some money last night, but I suspected that I would get a text message this morning from the vengeful gods of the overdraft saying, you haven't got any money and we're going to bounce a load of shit. And sure enough, I did get one. So the little bit of money I had to go to the post office to pay in to appease the vengeful gods of the overdraft. Not entirely appease them, but just to get my overdraft a little bit less overdrafty. And you'll see all of that in tomorrow's Daily Diary, because I filmed it, because nothing else happened today. I did go in Stigbut, though, so that's something. We haven't been in Stigbut for a while, have we? And talking of MGZTs, I'm going to sneeze. Talking of MGZTs and Rover 75s, it seems to be a bad day for them. Fred the Shed has coughed it. And also, I've just caught a glimpse of a massage from Neil, aka the Gibbinator, aka the very nice man, that Bruce has also fallen off the twig. And I'm going to be a little bit controversial here, unusually for me. And I'm going to go ahead and say, what an ungrateful pair of shits those two cars are. Right? Now, Mustard rescued Fred the Shed from, certain death. And that's how he's decided to repay the good captain. Well, and me, and the unknown banker. And Neil rescued Bruce, did his head gasket, gave him all new bits and pieces, lavished care and attention on him. And Bruce has blown his bloody engine up. Turbo went or something and blew the whole thing up, blew it to smithereens. It's in tiny parts all over Smethwick. So, commiserations to owners of cars that have got fundamentally fed up with being viable, workable motor cars. I mean, touch wood. I've got nothing to report in that department except that Stigbutt was fine today. The battery was absolutely spot on. None of the tyres have gone down. Well, I didn't check the spare, if I'm totally honest. But Barney, now, Barney's got a periodic, is that the right word? Intermittent is probably a better word. Actually, periodic. Well, Barney has got an issue where sometimes the door handle doesn't work on the inside. And you can get the door handle to work sometimes by putting the electric window up and down. But now the electric window has occasionally stopped working, but you can get it working by opening the door. So there's clearly something going on with the door opening, electric windowy. Is it really scrap, Neil? Sorry, I haven't read your message properly. It's just pinging up. Is it scrap? I mean, you've thrown money at that car. I suppose you've thrown it at the engine, though, haven't you? So sticking a new engine in, that's such a shame. I'm really sorry, mate. I really am. I mean, is it a lost cause? I'm just asking the question. You're the man who knows. Ah, right. Oh, okay. 100% scrap, apparently. Not worth bunging in a second-hand engine out of something else? I don't know what would be involved in that. As you said the other night, your own labour is free. No, maybe you can't be bothered. But, that's such a shame. Hang on, let's have my phone here so I can actually read them on my phone. Have a look. Through the turbo, cook the engine. Oh dear. Oh, that really is a bugger. My absolute sympathy. That is a bugger. Oh, the seats are mint. Can get another engine for 600 quid, but the effort of doing that means it's uneconomical to repair. Oh well, I suppose sometimes you do have to cut your losses. What color are the seats, Neil? What seats are they? I don't want to be like a vulture hovering over your poor demised car, but you did mention them. Oh God, the roof lining's been redone. Oh, right. Hmm. I want a stainless steel back box. And and I got an advisory on Stigbits MOT that the back box has got a slight blow. Well, let's catch up with some comments. Oh, poor old John. Poor old John. Andrew's here. Ivor Spotty Botty. A very good evening, Boaty, and everyone. Good evening to you. Is Fred the Shed dead? Wait, what? Says Joe. Yeah. He is an ex-Shed. He has ceased to be. Neil says, hello all. I'm currently sat in a very broken MGZT 1.8 turbo. Bruce has thrown a wobbler and suspected dropped a liner in the block. Oh, well, I can give you an update on that. 2 liners have dropped, whatever dropping is and whatever liners are, but it's obviously not good. James says, that's a shame that Fred is dead. I always hate seeing the end of a 75 or ZT. Barry says, the football results were the best. Oh, okay. Oh, and Neil says, so I've gibbonated Bruce. Oh, well, at least you can laugh about it. Oh, gosh, your test is tomorrow, Joe. Oh, I didn't realise it was tomorrow. Oh, no wonder you're stressing out a bit. We'll take your mind off it. Which test is it tomorrow, mate? Is it a driving test, a practical thing, or is it some sort of theory test? I mean, you were boning up on a load of stuff that needed to go into your brain, so I'm guessing it's some sort of theory thing, is it? R.I.P. Mel Smith, says Barry. Well, yeah, indeed. He had a hell of a life though, didn't he? He always had the appearance of a man, did Mel Smith, who denied himself few pleasures. And that was indeed the case. Plenty of booze, cigars, good food. Top man. I mean, in one sense, it's tragic when somebody passes away relatively young. But then in another sense, you know, is it really worth giving up a shorter lifetime of pleasure in order to get an extra 5 years in some bloody nursing home? Condolences on the anniversary of your dad passing, Joe. I did say that on Facebook. That's the tune, Boaty says Cheeseburger. I saw Arrow play a charity concert at the Royal Albert Hall with Paul McCartney. Right, jolly good, jolly good. Oh, not the 9 o'clock news did a sketch as well. They had the blue BBC closing screen as well. I'll try and find it, similar to Conley. I don't remember that. I mean, I remember them doing a skit on the closing thing, where they all, one of the really old closing things and they all sat around and read a text from somewhere, and Rowan Atkinson was just speaking gibberish. But I don't remember a BBC continuity in that. I mean, maybe if I actually saw it, then I'd remember it, but I can't bring it to mind. I just remember the Billy Conley one. Oh, Joe, bless you. Yeah, absolutely. Remember the good times. Mark says it was the MX5 Car Club Christmas meal tonight. Good food. Live music from Shedingham Shantymen. A cappella style. Great renditions of Wild Rover, Whiskey in the Jar, and Fairy Tale of New York, and Drunken Sailor. Joe saying that his dad was an inspiration, talented beyond this world. There was nothing he couldn't do. John. John says, if I'm being honest, I think my body is slowly giving up, as it's one thing after another. Once I think I'm winning, my body reminds me, no, you're not. And it's so hard to feel positive at the moment. I can completely understand that. Oh, back to Neil. I couldn't agree more, Jason. Bruce was just starting to behave. I've done 578 miles in him, replaced all the bits to sort it, and I've stuck my bore scope down the spark plug tube. I love it when you talk dirty, Neil, you sexy beast. He stuck his bore scope down the spark plug tube. That's a metaphor I'm going to use in future. Oh, that's the kind of thing you'd say when you're married, isn't it? Hello, darling. Good day at work. Not too bad, darling. How about you? It was a bit of a bore, to be honest. Didn't enjoy it very much. I was rather hoping, darling, that after dinner you wouldn't mind awfully if I were to stick me bore scope down your spark plug tube. You know, cheer me up a little. What? And it's dropped a liner. Oh dear. Well said, Cheeseburger. John, you have a fantastic Christmas to look forward to with your family. Stay positive for them. Absolutely. Steve Hogg says, thank you for the sub the other night. I fell asleep and woke up with a sub. Thank you. You're welcome. Mustard says, the 75 is the worst car Rover made. This is, of course, Mustard, who, having said that the Rover 75 is the worst car ever made, has been saying for the last 3 or 4 weeks that the Rover 75 is his favourite Rover. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that I hope that my friend and colleague does the kind, sympathetic and empathetic thing and sends Fred away to the scrap man as soon as possible so I don't have to look at him again, or even worse, sit in him. Oh, God. Honestly. Oh, dear. Get yourself a nice Mercedes instead, mate. That's what you want. A nice Mercedes. Fred the shed. Ben says, Joe, 16 years for me. Remember you have two, yours and your beloved dad. Oh, remember you have two. I can't see what that is. My eyesight isn't great in this sort of light. But yeah, it's losing your parents is a terrible thing. Terrible thing. And life is never ever quite the same again, no matter how old you are when you lose them. I mean, I lost mum. Oh, God, how long ago is it now? 10 years ago? 10, 11? No, can't be. Oh, hang on, can it? 36? 46? Yeah, probably is 10, 11 years ago. And I lost dad about 6 years ago, and life's never quite the same. So, sympathies to all of you fellow orphans out there. Andrew's got a dash. Last day at work today, and then it's Christmas holidays. Have a great night, everyone. Ta-ta for now. Oh dear, says Joe, it seems a bad day for cars today. R.I.P. Bruce and R.I.P. Fred the Shed. Is it me, says Simone, or is the sound all crackly? I don't know. Do you want me to change the microphone just in case? I'll tell you what it might be. There's an absolute I mean, gale doesn't begin to describe the wind. The car door was ripped out of my hand, and I struggled to stand upright in the wind. So the internet is probably a bit dodgy. So that's probably going to be the crackle. I can swap the microphone if you think that'll help. Boaty says Cheeseburger. Are there any parts on Bruce you can scrounge for free and get Neil to fit them? God, you're a terrible man. Enjoy Andrew, says Cheeseburger. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah. R.I.P. Fred the Shed, and welcome along Prince Andrew the Shed. Sheds are us with mustard and Boaty. Sell it for parts, Neil, says Barry. Cheeseburger says, Captain. Oh, you're a legend, Neil. I will do. Thank you. Captain, the 75 is the worst car ever overmade because it is a BMW, and all German cars are evil. James says, I'd say the worst car ever overmade was the Australian 416, aka the Rover Quintet. It wasn't even a Rover. It was just a rebadged, ugly, that's just a bad car with a Rover badge on it. Actually, the second generation Rover Quintet, I personally think, is the best looking car that has ever carried a Rover badge. Now, the original Quintet, I will grant you, was a bit of a munter, but the facelift Quintet, or the next generation Quintet, whatever you want to call it, that was an absolute looker, a howling looker, a U-boat gunner, stunner. Stunning car, absolutely stunning. It was, I'm not sure which model Honda it was badge engineered from, but it's like an angular, really stylish four-door saloon with pop-up headlights. And you know, and I know, pop-up headlights are the coolest thing going. There's a feature. Name cars that you've owned that had pop-up headlights. Good feature, that. Now let's think of mine. Oh, thank you, John. I'll have a look at that. Right, cars with pop-up lights. Well, Black Betty, my Unos Roadster. At least 3 Toyota Supras, oh God, what were they? Mark twos? I don't know, but I had at least 3 of them, and they had pop-up headlights. BMW 850, that had pop-up headlights. What else? Oh God, let's think now. I had a Mazda. Was it a 323, an early 323 that had pop-up headlights? Gosh, what else? I'm trying to think of classics now. The Espada didn't. Did the 400? Did the 400 have pop-ups? Can't remember. Anyway, if anyone wants any bits, let me know, says Neil. They'll be going cheap as it's going to scrap by Monday. Bloody hell, you're not messing about, are you, mate? Straight to the scrapyard. Dear, oh, poor old Bruce. I'm sure you are, John. Totally understandable. Totally understandable. Impossible not to, I would have thought. I don't know. I think you just have to be pragmatic. I think, a point comes where you just have to be pragmatic and think it is what it is. Hope for the best, of course. Family curry tonight, says Cheeseburger, at Bangla Lounge in Halesowen. Nice but busy. We've been heaving. Heaving. James asked, why didn't Australia get the R8 instead of that hideous quintet? I think they got the better deal, James, to be honest. Ben says, I sense Baron Bruce von Stigbert may be a thing. Oh, God, well, I mean, well, I could certainly do with some, if the seats were nice, if the headlight, if the roof lining had been done, stainless steel box, what's not, oh, God, what's not to love about all of that? Ah. Oh, I didn't realise, Neil, you've actually, right, it's happened tonight. Neil says, Cheesy, it's broken down in Sedgley. I'm a mile away from home. Right, so it's literally just broken down. Well, don't make any rash decisions, Neil. Don't make any rash decisions, mate. I mean, get it home. I'm guessing you're a member of the AA. Actually, you're a member of the RSC as well, aren't you? You told me. Oh, hold on. Photo. Neil has just sent me his current view. I guess he's waiting for recovery. You know, sleep on it, Neil, before you make any decisions. You know, I'll bet through one of the owners' clubs or whatever, I'll bet you could pick up an engine for a lot less than 600 quid. I bet you can. What it's 1.8 turbo, isn't it? I mean, now I don't know, but I mean, obviously you're clever. Surely, given you've spent money on the engine, no, he says it's going. Don't worry, it's going. I mean, surely you could get an engine and fettle it a bit and take all of the good bits off your knackered engine and do it that way rather than just, oh, I don't know. I mean, you know what's best, but I mean, whenever things like this happen, your immediate reaction is, right, that's it, it's going. I've done it countless times with mine, as you know. At least sleep on it, mate. You can't scrap it tonight anyway, so you're going to have to sleep on it. Best of luck, Joe. You'll be fine, says Cheeseburger. Ah, right. Details on the test tomorrow from Joe. CPC studies test. So it's a theory kind of test. I've got to get 40 out of 50 to pass, and it's fucking difficult. Mustard says there are lots of things on the ZT worthwhile keeping. Neil is just messaging me to say it's Coke cans next week. He'll smash it tomorrow. He's a smart kid, is our Joe. I agree, Neil. He will smash it. Oh, gosh. Barry's mum passed away 27 years ago. He was 14. Oh, that's bloody tragic. What has actually gone wrong with Fred, Paul? Asked Joe. Neil is about 700 feet away from the Clifton. I'm by the 7 Stars, but I can't have a beer because AA are on the way. Mark Passad has joined us. Good evening, Boaty and everyone here. Good luck for tomorrow. I'm sure you'll be fine, says Mark. Carlos says, Paul McCartney is the greatest Beatle that ever Beatled. He Beatled in a way that no other Beatle has ever Beatled. He was the greatest, and he played bass better than anyone. Well, not better than Kathy Valentine, I think you'll find, Carlos. Thank God it happened when the live is on, says Neil. The AA should be here when it ends. Apparently we're keeping going until the AA comes in. And Carlos continues, even bass players that were better than him, like Kathy Valentine, he was actually better than them because he Beatled. Video title from Cheeseburger. Can I stick my bore scope down your spark plug tube or crankcase breather? Another video title from Cheeseburger. Bruce and Fred off to Dignitas. Well, they'll have to get in the queue behind Esther Ranson, won't they? She's off there. Good old Esther Ranson. It was then I was arrested. It was then that we contacted the electricity board and we were told, I'm sorry, this really has nothing to do with us. Cyril. I'm indebted to a gentleman from Swansea who wrote to tell me that his televisual entertainment is constantly ruined by a camp old twat. Oh, 2 hearts. 2 hearts. Thank you, Ben. My eyesight's terrible in the dark. Cheeseburger says, Joe, can I add my thoughts? It does get easier, mate. Remember the good times. I suppose it does get easier in a weird way. It becomes less sharp, you know? It's like a toothache that goes from being an ever-present stabbing pain to being an occasional little heartache kind of thing. One of the worst things is the feelings of guilt, because it's human reaction, I think. Sorry about my cough. There's a lurgy going around work. Ram is half dropping dead. I'm just a bit snotty and coughy and sniffly so far. I'll probably copper it on Christmas Day. Oh, well, this is what I feared. Mustard says, I won't let Fred die. Mustard, you have to let go. You have to let go. I mean, I know it sounds cruel, but you have to look at his quality of life. So if you put him on life support, what's his future? He's not in good shape, is he? He's had his time. He's had a good and fulfilled life, and take joy that he got to spend his last days with you. And you shared a very special bond. You gave him the love that he had been lacking for so long. And remember the effort that he made for you. Remember the cars that he pulled, the caravan that he pulled. He died as he lived, trying his best, but he died trying his best for you because he loved you. He loves you still, and you love him. So do the kindest thing for him. Show your love for him in the best way that you can now, and scrap the fucker. Freddy's DNR, says Cheeseburger. Neil says, I had a Mark 1 MX-5. Love that thing. I love Black Betty. Jimmy Quinn says, the best looking Rover was the P5B Coupe. It's got to be up there. Was a stunning looking car. I'm not keen on pop-up headlights, says James Wilson, personally, but everyone has their own opinion. And most people's opinion is that pop-up headlights are the coolest thing in the world. You ask Richard Hammond, he'll tell you. I love pop-up lights. One of my favorite things was to have the lights popped up but turned off during daylight. Absolutely pointless. Reduces aerodynamic efficiency, increases drag, reduces performance, decreases fuel economy, but it looked so cool, I did it anyway. I did. I big fat did it anyway. Cheeseburger says, I've never had a car with pop-up headlights. I've had a few with pop-up washer jets. Oh, that is really cool. That is really cool. Pop-up washer jets. Have I ever had those? I better have on something, but I can't remember what off the top of my head. But that is really cool. Headlamp washers are cool. I've got headlamp washers on Dicker Dum Dum, and they look the business. It's like a really nice pair of nipples. Without headlamp washers, your car's boobs just don't look right. They look like boobs without nipples, and that's wrong. I mean, no offense to any ladies who are lacking in the nippular region, but it's not the same. You know, you need something to hang your coat on. Chinese nipples are scary. If you've never had the pleasure or experience, it's not for me to say whether it would be a pleasure or not, but if you've never had the experience of a Chinese nipple, they're a little bit intimidating at first because they are 2 to 3 times the length of a European nipple. And that can be a bit discombobulating when you're first confronted by it, because you sort of unwrap the nipple location, area type thing, and you think, bloody hell, dear me. And a little hint for what it's worth, a little tip from an old man that'll never get the chance again. I've yet to meet a Chinese woman who doesn't like her nipples to be nibbled. They like you to nibble on their nipples. They will, well, if they're forthcoming, at least 2 of mine instructed me, bite them. But they're like, well, I don't know. You know those wiggly, waggly, prongy, springy things that I'm trying to think where they have them. I think they have them on doors, and they're to stop the door from slamming shut. And they've got like and they're all, well, they're like that, a Chinese nipple. Really, yeah, quite, they give you pause for thought because it's a bit different, isn't it? And different can be scary. And if you're used to a stout European nipple, then being confronted by a nipple that's 3 times the length and smaller in diameter, you think, well, okay, this is different and new, and I'm a little bit frightened. How does it work? How do I operate it? Does it operate like a normal nipple? Hopefully, if and when you are in this situation, you will be fortunate enough to be with an owner of said nipple that is willing to instruct you in how best to deal with them. And I wish you all good fortune with your Oriental nipples. And remember that in a very weird and slightly perverted sense, when you tackle that nipple, I will be with you. Now, that's something I never expected to say to a public audience. God, that is going to be, the internet lasts forever, doesn't it? And, somebody could listen to me in 200 years' time when I'm long gone, listening to me talk about an Oriental nipple and how to deal with it. That pleases me, actually. Oh, I would like to be remembered as a semi-authority on the Oriental nipple from a Western point of view, because Eastern people, Oriental men, I imagine, will be perfectly familiar with the Oriental nipple. I mean, it'll be what they're used to. They would probably be freaked out by a European nipple. Now, that's a question, isn't it? I wonder if Chinese men have the same nippular difference. Now, I can't answer that because, I try to be honest and open with you, and I will continue to do so. I've never slept with a Chinese man. But if you have, then do let me and the wider community know what a male Chinese nipple is like. And thank you very much in advance for that. I wonder if Chinese children have different mouths and that's why the nipple is a different shape. You know, like you'd have a different pouring spout on your drinks thing. If you, I don't know, going off on a tangent there, aren't I? Back to pop-up headlights, which are not entirely dissimilar to an Oriental nipple. Mark says, just my Unos Roadster, which I still own. Is Quintet originally a Honda name? Don't know, to be honest. Ben says, yes. Hub word I can't say. Mazda 323F. James says, it's like the first gen NSX, looks much better with facelift fixed lights than the pop-ups. No, it doesn't. Cheeseburger says, Jimmy, I liked the P5B coupe, and so did Thatcher. No, she didn't, Cheeseburger. Thatcher always was driven in a saloon, not a coupe. All of the governmental Rover P5s were saloons, to the best of my knowledge, as were the Royal ones, which makes sense when you think about it, because they're going to be all about the people in the back, not the people in the front. So they're going to want the higher roofline of the saloon. Especially dear old Maggie, because she had quite a bouffant hairstyle, didn't she? I mean, you couldn't put her in a P5B coupe. Her hair would get squashed. Honestly, Cheeseburger, give your head a wobble and have a word with yourself. Carlos Fandango says, pop-up headlights are for hairdressers, right? Wrong. Jimmy Quinn says, I like Maggie. What, my ex-wife? I like her too. She's a fine woman. I'm guessing the Mark II Quintet, guesses Ben, would be the original Honda Integra, quite possibly. One type of sports car I'd be interested in, says James, would definitely be a Honda S2000, a lovely looking car. Are you talking about the original or the later version with the which just reused the name? I mean, the original is sensational, and the renamed version from the, when was it, late 90s? If I'm honest, that Honda S2000, the later one, that had a bit of MGRV8 about it. I mean, it had its amazing party trick, which harked back to the original in that it revved its absolute tits off. And that was stunning. But otherwise, it was all a bit backwards in terms of technology. And it was outdated in many ways the moment it was released. But you ignored that just because of that incredible engine and the revs. Cheeseburger says, suggestion, put Stigbert's engine in Bruce. One has a fucked engine and the other is completely fucked. You wouldn't say that if you'd been with me when I went to the post office to appease the gods of the overdraft. Stigbert drove like a dream today, and he's not completely fucked. The only things wrong with Stigbert now are the ABS ring, the slightly missing airbag, the roof lining. That's it. Other than that, he's absolutely perfect. He is actually. He is. He drives stunningly now. And he's got a new gramophone. He's got the gramophone out of Dick a Dum Dum, remember. That's a positive. Fun fact from Mark. The TT spoiler was a last minute fix. Thank you, Neil. Sleep on it, Neil. Sleep on it. I know you're going to be really upset and annoyed at the moment. So obviously you're going to say, yep, he's going for baked bean tins. Sleep on it. See how you feel in the morning or on Sunday morning. When I mean sports car, an MGTF S2000. Oh, well, right. James is basically saying that when he says sports car, he means like an MGTF or a Honda S2000. He sees the Jaguar XK as more of a Grand Tourer. Fair enough. You don't sound it, actually, Neil. You should be. Cheeseburger asks, does Neil have to wait as long for the AA as the rest of us? Mark says pop-up headlights got banned due to pedestrian crash safety. Is that right? I didn't know that. And Neil answers, unfortunately, I do, yes. My van is a mile away, but I can't go and get it because I'm off shift. Don't scrap it, Neil, urges James. Believe me, a 1.8 turbo is well worth it. I love mine. I just wish that stupid April day never happened. I'd still proudly own it. Well, I mean, they are worth a fortune, aren't they? You asked Furious Driving how much a 1.8 turbo is worth. Bloody hell. I mean, if you really are going to scrap it, Neil, then obviously let me know and I'll drive down in Stigbert, swap the bits over and bring you money and Momo and all kinds of good things. Oh, were you? Bloody hell. Oh, you're going to nick some bits for Ruby. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Ruby, of course, is Neil's ZTT. Could you send me a picture of the seats? The seats, please, Neil, so I can get a picture in my mind. Headlining, definitely, if it's good. Wheels, I'm not bothered about. I mean, I've got new tires on mine, and I imagine that the wheels will go on. Will go on. Will go on Ruby, won't they? I can't remember what wheels are on Ruby, but I imagine if you've got nice hairpins, you put those on it. Oh, and the stainless steel box, definitely. Cheeseburger says, Carlos, McCartney wasn't even the best bass player in the Beatles. And that is a pun on, I've said this many times before. Allegedly, John Lennon was asked if Ringo was the best drummer in the world. And allegedly, John said he's not even the best drummer in the Beatles. Total bollocks. That was part of a comedy routine by Jasper Carrot, and it just got accepted into folklore. Carlos says, oh my God, Boaty, did you just say Fettle? Only twats say Fettle. Please don't say that ever again. It's a twats word. I always say Fettle. Hang on, I've got a video now. Oh, let's have a look at this. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, and then they're really nice as well. Oh, yeah. So Neil's just sent me a video. He doesn't hang about, doesn't Neil? He's just sent me a video of the seats in the headlining. That they are really rather nice, actually. A million times better than what's in Stigbert right now. Simone is hoping to put a film out tomorrow, and it's going to be different from usual. There's a teaser for you. I know the feeling, Neil, says James. When I get another 75 ZT, I definitely want a KV6. I was gutted when mine was written off. I got Star Space for it off a mate, and they looked so good. Simone says, "Are you talking about the blue 75 Tourer? I like that car." Yeah, well, if Fred the Shed, yeah, that is the blue 75 Tourer. Why did you like it? Neil says, "It's one of those, James. I've had a good laugh doing it, but it's genuinely not financially viable to put it right. If I was going to keep it, I'd dump another engine in it, but unfortunately, it's not worth it." Yeah, do bear in mind that Neil was never planning to keep this car. It was a flipper. I'm not reading that out, Cheeseburger. What's broken on Fred the Shed? Asked Joe. Well, everything, Joe. I mean, everything that was already broken is still broken. So the roof is broken, the seats are broken, um, everything else is broken, and now the engine is broken as well. Other than the engine, the body, and the interior, it's all pretty good, really. So that's all that would need doing to bring it back to brilliant health, is just replace the engine, the body, and the interior. Cheeseburger says Fred spent the day with Boaty and Mustard in the yard of desperation and gave up on life. Do you know? I reckon he probably did. Part of me thought that Fred kind of rallied himself and said, "Right, I'm in with the last chance at life here. I've not been scrapped, I've not been crushed, and this hairy geezer might actually look after me." And then he's just been ragged around the yard, pulling terrible things around, and he's just thought, "Fuck this. It's not worth it. It's not worth it." So there you go. I reckon there is a strong argument that Fred gave up on life and topped himself. It's just, nope. Quite frankly, I've assessed my future in this place, and no, I'm not up for it. I'm out here. Thank you and good night. Uh, After a certain year, says Cheeseburger, any new car with xenons needed to have lamp washers. Oh, I didn't know that. Simone says, "Pop-up headlights are not aerodynamic. Tell that to a stupid modern SUV brick." Okay. Boaty, says Mark, "You usually advocate the Royal Society for the protection of rovers, not the Harold Shipman of rovers." Yeah, well, you know, I mean, I'm all for saving rovers, but, occasionally you come across something and you just have to say, "Yeah, okay, too far gone." Look, even doctors sign the hippopotamus oath, don't they? They have to protect life at all costs. But even doctors and consultants will have occasionally come to a family and say, "Look, I'm really sorry, but your loved one, we're keeping him alive via artificial means, but quite honestly, we have to consider the standard of life, and we would recommend that it's time to let go and say goodbye." And I would suggest that that time came for Fred the Shed, probably about 3 years ago. He's been living on borrowed time. Oh, hello, Mustard still here. Dicker Dum Dum versus Prince Andrew soon. Now, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. Prince Andrew is some form of Rover 45 diesel saloon. So you would think, well, probably L Series diesel, probably not quite a match for Dicker Dum Dum. But he is going to be having the chip put in him from Eric. which is going to transform him a bit. Not the chips, the ECU, the remapped ECU. So that would be a really good one to do, Mustard. Dick-a-Dum-Dum against Prince Andrew. Oh, God. Prince Andrew and Dick-a-Dum-Dum in the same sentence. That's never going to end well, is it? But that would be really interesting to do. I would imagine... I'm trying to think what the figures are. Right. I would imagine that in a straight drag race with the Chasley ECU in, I would imagine Prince Andrew would take Dick-a-Dum-Dum. There you go. I'm willing to admit that. Dick-a-Dum-Dum would sound a million times better and be a lot nicer to drive. But I reckon with that remap, then if he's properly running with that remap, I would have thought he would take Dick-a-Dum-Dum in the drag race. But throw in some twisty bits, and I'm going to say Dick-a-Dum-Dum would come out on top. Because Dick-a-Dum-Dum handles like an absolute dream. And that L series is going to put the weight balance all out of whack when it comes to, you know, really fine points of handling. So I would imagine in the corners, Dick-a-Dum-Dum would be able to take lumps of time out of Prince Andrew. So that would be a really interesting one. So if we do it, then it needs to be like a triathlon. So like a drag race, a time trial on a twisty course, and then a head-to-head road race, again on something with bends. So that way the driver's bravery can come into it a bit as well. Now, on that triathlon, Dick-a-Dum-Dum would win, would absolutely win. The only thing Prince Andrew is going to win on is going to be the straight drag race. In a twisty time trial, or even a normal road time trial, Dick-a-Dum-Dum will win thanks to the better handling and better gearbox. Because, of course, don't forget Dick-a-Dum-Dum's got step speed, better gearbox, sequential shifting. And in a head-to-head, assuming that I'm driving Dick-a-Dum-Dum and Mustard is driving Prince Andrew, Dick-a-Dum-Dum will come out on top because, as I proved the other Monday, I am a faster driver than Captain Mustard. And I'm just imagining Mustard now furiously typing on his phone keyboard. Neil says, Ruby, my ZTT is my pride and joy. My love, that car will never go anywhere in a million years. Hence why I argued with the insurance when they said they were going to write it off when it had the door hit. Boaty, bite, nibble with your teeth, impossible. I had teeth when I was nibbling on Oriental nipples, Jimmy. Video title, a public information film on the operation of nipples. I love that. I love that. Screenshot. Neil says, with the Chasley remap on Prince Andrew, it will be a good competitor to Dick-a-Dum-Dum. I agree. James, right, yes, jolly good. Oh, and the Chasley ECU is going into Prince Andrew tomorrow. Well, it's nice that something is going into Prince Andrew instead of Prince Andrew putting something into... Hold on. Cheeseburger says, Neil, I would try and sell Bruce. He's worth at least £4,000, I would think. Another video title from Cheeseburger. Bruce is dead. The vultures are circling. Well, no, that's not fair. Neil offered. I told him not to rush into anything. But if he does go ahead with his current line of thinking, then yeah, I'll have the exhaust, the seats, and the headlining, please. Gosh, I didn't realise the time, says Buddy Scrotter. I've been busy tonight. Hello, God, talking about time. It's time to go. Momos by Clark's. I thought Boaty was bullshitting me until I looked. Yeah, if you watch the Daily Diary video, Clark's do or did make a range of shoes called Momo, and I have two pairs of them. And the original Momo are the shoes that I said are the best driving shoe ever, and I stand by that. I absolutely stand by that. They, if I have a race with Mustard, I'll be wearing my Clark's Momo. Do you want to see? Oh, I can't be bothered to go upstairs. If you want to see one, remind me and I'll show you next time. Oh, Neil's got a time of arrival, 12:15. Neil says the joke part about it is I was offered £2,300 the other day for Bruce. I was very tempted to sell it, but to be honest, I'm glad I didn't, as it would have been a comeback that I didn't want. Gosh, well, I mean, what a decent chap you are, Neil. Most people would say, I wish I had sold it. Private sale, sold a scene, and then it would have been his problem. But no, you're a decent chap. Fred got abused before he died, says Simone. Yes, he did. Fred in the yard of desperation. And hello, Adam's here. Evening, everyone. How's it going? Cheeseburger says, Neil, John Copeland on YouTube bought a 1.8, one owner, and blew a head gasket on the way home. Buyer beware, or caveat emptor if you prefer that in Latin. Now, Freddie's dead, says Simone. Oh, bloody hell, you have been busy, Neil. Neil has apparently just sold most of Bruce. So, God, he really isn't hanging about. Yeah, now Fred is dead. The rest of our cars might go up in value, says Simone. Barry's off. He's got to go. And yeah, say goodbyes, darlings. It is time to go. Barry says, Mustard, when you said Prince Andrew was pulling well these days, I spat my tea out. John is still here. Neil says an L series would piss a V6. Mine could outrun a Fabia VRS. Oh, and Mustard said Joseph would hate it too. It is, yeah, Joe, you're right. It's a dreadful shame about Bruce. Let's do it in the new year. Okay, you're on, Captain. Oh, talking about things happening in the new year. Lunch with JM on Cars has been confirmed, and it is happening on the 2nd of January. But it's not going to be in the caravan. In fact, we don't know where it's going to be yet. We've got to sort that out. Neil says, Mr. Lloyd would write a letter of complaint if you drag raced against a smoky Rimac diesel. Why didn't they do a 2-litre V6 manual in the 45? It'd be more suited to being a manual. I don't know, James. Probably because they were going to do it in the MG. Right, and I have caught up with the comments, and it is indeed time to go, darlings. It's time to go. It has gone past midnight. So, gosh, it's been a bit, dear me, Well, my heart goes out to quite a few people. John, my heart goes out to you. Neil, even though you're laughing about it, my heart goes out to you. Joe, my heart absolutely goes out to you on, you know, a sad Remembrance Day. Mustard, my heart goes out to you a bit. Just do the decent thing and scrap the bloody thing. Oh, poor old Fred. Poor old Fred. I can't remember what's actually wrong with it. So, all joking apart, I don't know if it's terminal or not, but, you know, Mustard won't let it be terminal, will he? Well, not yet, anyway. He'll plan a repair on Fred the shed, and Fred will just sit in the yard for the next 2 years. Fred isn't dead. He's in a coma, says Mustard. Well, turn the machine off. Oh, dear. Look, just buy that Mercedes and then you won't give two hoots about Fred. Oh, there. Oh, no, I won't say that in case somebody else bids on him. As far as I'm aware, Mustard has still got his heart set on the Mercedes. And Fred only needs a fuel pumpy thingy. Oh, I hope that's not true. He could survive that. I might have to sit in him. Oh, God. If you're wondering about the Mercedes that Mustard is lusting after, then there will be pictures of it. No other details, but there will be pictures of it in tomorrow's daily diary, because I had a look at it today to try and see what the appeal was. And beats me. I had to go out in Stigbert to just get my brain back into a semblance of normality. Oh, God, there's a hashtag now. Fred needs another chance. Oh, God above. Right, darlings, that is it. It is now 13 minutes past midnight. Thank you for your company tonight. You know, bless you all who need blessing. Hope you all have a good night's sleep. And join me tomorrow. Same time, same place. 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Thursday Night Live. I'm off to get some supper. Much love and good night. Let Fred go. Let Fred go. Drive towards the light, Fred.